Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's No Brush Required, episode 42, with myself and my co host, Barbara Reed. Let's hope we can grab her this morning. She's here. That was fast.
Wasn't that just like magic?
Voila. When it works, it works.
I know. That was seamless.
And when it doesn't, we spin and we go, oh, what shall we talk about while we're waiting for
I
Barbara to
know.
get
I
here?
know. I know.
How
How are
are
you
you
doing?
this week? Oh, I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. Good. Enjoying summer, and we're in August, which is, I was saying that to somebody who I used to teach with, that August is like the Sunday month. Like you think about what
Yes.
Sundays are like before the beginning of a work week. Well, August is kind of like that if you're a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Even if you're a parent, because after being part of the school year for so long, August is always that month of, okay, this is the calm before the storm and everything goes crazy in about 3 weeks with back to school. And it's not like that for me this year. So, which is kind of
No,
nice.
no, and yeah, I'm not thinking about school since I've been retired, I have to say. But when I see all the back to school ads, and I just
I
go,
know.
oof.
My favorite is the Staples ad where they have the parent dragging the couch with the kids on it and somebody's singing the most wonderful time of the year.
Yes, I love that.
They still haul that one out every year, don't
I
they?
know, I know. So what episode is this? 40?
42, which is the answer to life and the universe and everything, right? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. 42 is the answer.
I
42 is
didn't
the
know
answer.
this.
There you go. Look it up. It's a really big important number in that genre of
Okay,
reading.
it's a good number, I take it.
It's a good number. It's the answer to everything. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that was very random. And if nobody got that, that's fine. I'm used to being random sometimes.
If you got that, send us a heart because I didn't get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I think we
Um,
actually have that book, but
oh, you
Roman's
should
read
read
it.
it.
Yeah,
You should
yeah.
read it. It's on like lots of people have it on like their like top 20 books you should read in your
Really?
lifetime.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
Yeah, because I'm
So
I'm reading a whole lot of non-art books right now, so that would fit right in.
look at how close I am getting to the end of this one.
You're amazing because you know
I,
what I've done? I'm still reading it, but I'm also reading other books along
yeah.
with it.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
do too. I do too. And of course now since we're going to New York in a month, I've been
Mm.
like looking at all the galleries in New York and all the art museums and things that we need to go to see these women's paintings at.
Yes.
So
Have to.
yeah,
Have to.
yeah. As we're saying hello, a couple quick announcements. This is August. Barbara and I have talked about trying to shorten the length of these a little bit coming into the fall because I know not everybody has an hour to watch the replay and it's a long time. So we're going to pay attention to time. We're going to try to keep them around 45 minutes for the next few weeks and see how that goes. And you know what? If we just run over time or have too much to talk about, we might just have to do a second episode with the same guest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sound good?
So it's a bit of an experiment. So I think we said today, 45 minutes. Oh, somebody's in New York City. If you have any questions.
Patricia. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we will. Patricia, thanks. I'm going to write that down on my little trusty note. Datoma. She and I have been chatting over on that other app, I believe.
Okay, so that other app, I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Well, I told you, I keep calling it Vino because I think
Vino.
of wine.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's Vero, but don't quote me because forever I was calling VRBO, and I only discovered it's called Verbo. It's
Oh, I don't
pronounced
even know.
Verbo. You know, it's the online accommodation, rent an
Oh,
apartment
okay.
or vacation property, VRBO. That's how I always called it that. And then somebody said, I heard that it was Verbo, and I'm like, oh God, I've been saying it wrong for years.
Yeah. So we're not sure.
Patricia, we'll
Yeah,
DM you, Patricia.
we're not sure about this new app, and maybe later on, if we have time, we can get people's feedback on it. So
Yeah,
seeing mixed things, right?
yeah, I'm seeing a lot of mixed stuff, and I think everybody just needs to, figure out for themselves, but take a step back too. It's really easy to find fault with things and then not
Mm.
realize that in terms of ethics, I understand it. We gotta we gotta act with act with our actions. We have to behave ethically and morally, but there's a lot of other things that we do and use in our lives that we don't hold to the same standard maybe that we're holding it to. But I don't know. I think that's a conversation for another day because I feel like we could go off on that tangent for a long time.
I know.
And we have a lovely guest to invite on this morning. And just before I do that, I'm going to do a shameless plug because I'm part of the Square Foot Show, the Abstract Square Foot. God, I'm going to say it wrong. Square Foot Show. Square Foot Show. It's hard to say fast. Next week. And it's, well, the reason why I keep getting confused is because it's called Abstract Squared is the name of the show. So you guys have been seeing lots of posts online. It's an online art show. There's over 75 artists showing between 3 and 5 pieces of art, all 12 by 12 inches, all the same price, $300 Canadian plus shipping.
Nothing.
And it's only 2 days. It's only 2 days. So it's a really great opportunity to meet a bunch of new artists whose art you haven't seen before and get some art at a really, really good price. So go to their website, squarefootshow.com. You can sign up for the preview. And I've been told that some artists' work sells out like in minutes. Wouldn't that be lovely? But whatever. I'm just happy to be involved. So there's my little plug.
For sure.
There's my little plug. Alrighty, so I am going to invite on Joyce Legate. Some of you guys will know Joyce.
That's how you say her last name.
I did ask her. I asked because I just said I pronounced Verbo wrong. So there you go. And I've just invited her on, and that was
Joyce.
So smooth.
Joyce.
Joyce.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much.
Good.
Thanks for joining us today.
Where are you, Joyce?
I'm in Southern California.
She's
in my studio.
Laguna, near Laguna Beach, where
I'm about 4 miles
we know
from
are.
Laguna.
Very nice. I see some of your Chroma Gallery folks on here.
Hi, Liz.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
My team. Your
team. Well, we can talk a bit about that. Maybe once we talk about you first, and then we can expand and talk about Chroma. Well, you and I actually met online and through Chroma, I think, because Barb and I have both been guest artists as part of that gallery, but I've only sort of gotten to know you a little bit more through your artwork lately, which I must say, I absolutely adore your mix of figurative and abstract work, and I'm wanting to know where the inspiration comes from
and those
all that.
Totems.
Oh yes, Barb's in love with the totems.
You need to back up. You need to actually move way back with your camera because I see them. The three amigos.
Yeah, the three amigos. Yes. Well, I know. Well, I just had my house painted because I have a condo and I live upstairs, and so I was doing the whole downstairs as a mini gallery to invite my designers and stuff over to sell art, and so everything was off the walls as of 10 minutes ago in here. So I was like, oh my God, I gotta put something up really quick. So it's all up with push pins. So if something falls down, just ignore it.
We'll just assume it's an earthquake.
Yes. Very common here.
So let's back up a minute and give us a little bit of background on your art history, the history of your art. And have you always been an artist?
Yes, even though I deny it, I have always been an artist. It seems like every job I've ever had, I end up somebody pushes me into the art side of it. So, I think I've always found some way to create something.
So is this your full-time gig right now, or did you have a different career before this, or?
My career for the last 30 years is I'm an architectural renderer and designer. And so I draw, and that was my first passion. It's a craft that has been replaced with AutoCAD, which I learned, but not so, my designers that I have, old school, want my hand drawing. So it's nice. I'm getting to that stage where I've only have like 4 designers left, and I'm just concentrating more on my art, and that's what I want to do. So that's where I'm at right now.
That's great. So you and Liz Dexter, she's an architect as well, isn't she?
Yes, and that's why I resonate so much with her stuff
Oh,
because she's so
interesting.
detail oriented and more linear. Even though when you look deeply into her paintings, they're wildly abstract, and her process is great. But yes, yeah, she's the real thing. I'm just the person that draws.
You're the real thing too. You're the
Yeah.
No,
real
I
thing
mean
too.
she's an architect.
Oh, okay.
I'm just doing the rendering and the drawings. She's got the whole school, everything behind her.
Well, I'm curious then with your background. I think of architectural rendering as again more straight lines, more graphic
Hmm.
design, and in keeping with say the totems behind you, but very different from the abstract figurative work that I've seen you paint. So tell us about that. That's a real interesting contrast.
The what now? I you
Your oh sorry, your abstract figurative work and how that contrasts with the architectural rendering.
Oh well, I've always done portraits. I've always found people fascinating. Um, I started with oils just in like a college class just for fun with friends, and then life and kids and family took over. And then when I started doing architectural drafting, I found that I really love to sketch in pencil. So if let's see if I can show. So a lot of my stuff I was doing portraiture with pencils, and
Hmm.
and then people started asking me to do their pets and their dogs, and anyway it just kind of exploded. So I was really comfortable in a pencil medium, and
Mhm.
then with COVID
Hmm.
and everything shutting down so much, I had just joined CVP the year before in 2019,
I think
and
that was when I met you.
yes, yes,
Mhm.
that's when I met you. And that was such a fabulous experience for me. Everybody in that 2019 really was, we were like all like little kids looking, like waiting for every little bit of crumb that we were given.
We were. That
And
was quite a cohort, that one. Yeah.
it was, and it was so overwhelming. And I had never used acrylics. And so that's how I ended up with the abstract. So I had been this realistic pencil, using pencil and
Mhm.
ink to be realistic in
Mhm.
my drawings. And then I got into this crazy abstract.
Mhm.
And back in 2019, it was, what do you want to do? What was your wish list? Was part of our board.
Yeah.
And mine was to combine all of my knowledge into one.
Right.
So to do this new abstract with the figurative. And so I'm still kind of experimenting, and I like the
Mhm.
more loose areas, and
Mhm.
they're usually friends or pictures from traveling that I use.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that combination. It's almost, and I remember we looked at different artists who were doing that kind of that disrupted
Yes.
realism. I think Chad Little at the time.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah,
They
he's now super realistic though. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
he's kind of I haven't seen any of his work is getting more and more realistic. He's
Clean.
kind of very clean and none of that
Yeah.
abstraction in quite the same way that he was doing. But I remember seeing it and just going, wow. So what did that influence you a little bit to kind of go
Well,
into that?
the reason I connected so much with the Chad Little art was because he's my age or around my age, and so or maybe he's not, but the subjects he's picking were my age.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I, I resonated with that, and I saw him in one of the galleries down here in Laguna Beach. And so it was this great big huge painting of, it was felt like my childhood. And so
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I had done that myself,
Hmm.
but to see it disrupted was a complete different thing. So
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, I'm influenced. I'm so terrible. I'm influenced by anybody. I'm like, oh, look at that. I'm like a
I want to do that.
pro with a shiny object.
But that's Joyce. I'm the same way. I'll see something, and all of a sudden, it's like I'm gonna just dive into that whole approach or that whole concept. And you are surrounded by amazing galleries in Laguna Beach,
Yes.
aren't you? Yeah.
Well, there's one area, Sue Greenwood and Kelsey Michaels. There's a few. This one row that's
Mhm.
right across from the Laguna Museum, and that's my favorite row where I go, where I see the artists that I really connect with. So
Yeah.
we go every the first Thursday of every month is Art Walk, and so there's a bunch of us from CVP. I think there was like 8, 9 of us in all that kind of met up one night during Art Walk. And so now there's 4 of us regularly meet for dinner and go
Oh gosh, I'm
and,
so jealous.
and disrupt the
I'm
art.
so jealous.
Yeah,
But we're missing here.
we are. That's why we're on here, because we don't have that in-person
Aren't
thing
we
yet.
sad?
No, but that's how. But for me, it's kind of the opposite because there is so much inundation down here in Laguna. I mean, there's everything from art that you go, how did they get in there? They must be the owner's daughter or something. You know, where you get very unkind, right?
Yeah.
And then there's these beautiful Chad Little and Robert Zott and everything else that you see, and you're going, oh, that's why. You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it's all encouraging. It's all wonderful.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, it's a fine line between inspiration and I find when you look at a lot of other art between being inspired and not digging deep enough in your own. And that's sort of how I've been feeling lately. I love all of the online opportunities to look at everybody's art, and I love to go out to galleries and see people's art. But sometimes I feel like I need to just put my nose to the grindstone a little bit more.
That's so true. That's so true.
So what resonates with you? What inspires you? Because those totems, which I think are pretty darn current for you, right? The colors are just so vibrant and gorgeous, saturated color, but very geometrically designed. So where did that come from?
That was, I think Tamara did a perfect lead in on this. It was one of those things where you do totems and they're very abstract. And I've seen different totems with collage, and I love collage. And I built those. So my brother is a woodworker. So I had gone and bought all this beautiful Baltic birch. And I said, I want to do some totems. And so we built these. They're 10 inches by 45 inches. And I was kind of, I had them for like 3 months. And then finally I just sat down and I said, I'm just going to pick these colors and I had all this tape and I just started doing what I used to do reverse hand painted art deco paintings in the 70s. Okay. And so you used a lot of tape and then you put these beautiful Vogue pictures on it. And it was all architectural Art Deco designs. And so I thought, I'm going to do a totem. And then it just kept going. And then all the knowledge from the history and the layers and the rubbing and then putting them together, working in even though, you're supposed to work in a series, I never do. I was just having so much fun with the tape. The cutting and the geometrics. And up close, they look very geometric from far away, but when you get up close, there's very loose strokes within it, within the square boxes. So, that was just a bunch of fun.
But I love them together. I mean, and you can actually keep adding, like you could turn that into some massive piece. And just by switching the order of the panels, you've created a new artwork. Whoever ends up with those is going to have fun with them.
I hope so. I was like panicking thinking, I didn't put them on my website. What if somebody wants them? So I did the in situ thing where I did one single panel, 2 single panels, 3 and 4 in situ and turned them like you do, like you could make them all go horizontal. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun to see the different variations. It's almost
like you have to use the in situ apps for those orientations because how else do you photograph something like that to just show on its own?
Well, and the size, as Barbara knows, just taking the picture of one skinny totem pole, it becomes this itty bitty thing. So I struggled yesterday, and I put them on my newly painted walls, and they looked yellow compared to
they look gorgeous, and that is the problem with the totems because I've wanted to submit some of my totems to juried shows, but they don't meet the digital criteria. It's never wide enough, right? And so you can't.
I agree.
Interesting.
Yeah. You need to show all 3 or 4 or 5 of them together as a one piece. Even though there's multiple pieces, you have to present it as one.
Yeah.
because that's what I'm doing next month.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
going to be my workaround too.
I think they're more powerful. I think they're more powerful. They make a bolder statement as a group, you know. And you say that you didn't paint in series, but to me that looks like, you know, what's your definition of series? The colors are a little different, but they all go together, and you painted them at the same time. You
Well,
created them at the same time.
as as working in interior design for the last 30 years, in my mind, I see areas and halls and
Mhm.
pieces that could use a small, thin
Yeah,
Oh,
piece, you
true.
know.
a pillar.
So you're always thinking that kind of messes me up a bit too, because then I'm always thinking, well, where is this going to go, and who would buy this? And that's where I have to get out of my head and
Right.
just have fun, which I did with these. I just had fun, and that's another thing with the abstract and the people, where
Yeah.
I'm just doing that. I am taking pictures of friends. Like that's a picture of my friend Mary Lou. I was in Canada at Saltaire, I think it was Saltaire, down on Vancouver Island,
Hmm.
and she was looking. We were walking through a starfish. No, wait a minute, a sand dollar. Like there were thousands of
Yeah.
sand dollars, and so she's looking down at them, and I took a picture of her, and so she's on right now too. So I think she's still there. So that's how I get inspired, is by places I've been and people, or you know,
Yeah.
and just whatever that inspires me goes with whatever medium I feel fits that. Like that's paint, but one I did yesterday for a friend for her birthday was all pencil, graphite pencil.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I just keep going everywhere.
I love what Isabel is to saying. She said, "I think the artist declares what a series is." Yes, that's good. A good point, because you see images of artists painting series, and they'll have like 24 paintings going, and I'm thinking, I just can't do that. Well, space wise,
They'd have
um,
to be little, 4x4s.
even little, like the I think the biggest series that I've ever done of small pieces at one time is probably about 6. So have
Yeah.
you got, is that your studio space that you're standing in, Joyce?
Yes, yeah, it's about 10 by 12. So what I
Okay.
found is I did what this is like a 15-foot wall, so it's about 15 by 12. I had done originally the wall that Nick showed us, you know, with the
Oh
screws
yeah,
and the
yeah.
whole thing. And as of 2 weeks ago, it was every color in the rainbow. The
Yeah.
baseboards and the molding was completely ruined. It was completely spattered. I couldn't even see what I was painting because there was so much other. I'd have to paint it white around it
Yeah.
just to see the painting. So but I like work. I think after drafting for 30 years, I'm used to being on a table,
Yeah.
and even my really large pieces, I'm more comfortable flat. So I thought, well,
Interesting.
that's great for Nick, but it's not great for me. So I'm just going to display my art here
Yeah.
and then work on my table. And
I
that's where I'm happy.
And the totems lend themselves to a table. Don't you find when you're
I
working with them?
I did them all on the table. I was as happy as can be.
Yeah. And did you have like your little T square going to make? I was like, when I do mine, you got a T square?
This
Yes.
I'm an a drafter. I have every tool imaginable.
Yeah. Well, this is from art school days when I actually had a draft.
I was going to say that's from Aaron Brothers, circa 1978.
I got it 1980, 1981 in New York.
Well, you're not nearly as old as I am, so
Oh
I've got
yes,
the metal
yeah.
stuff.
We'll compare notes later. But no, and there's something nice about working flat, and I can do like a 6-foot totem in my teeny little space by doing it
Yeah,
that way.
I'm really fortunate because right now, because of the way I've done my condo, I have it so when you come into it, because of the different walls and the way it's set up, it's an open space basically, and I live upstairs.
Hmm.
So every little place has a vignette. So because I'm such a varied artist, and I keep hearing, find your voice, find your voice. Well, I'm like ADD or rattled in my head. There's a lot of voices in there. So each wall has a different style. So I have the abstract, the linear, the graphite. You know, I'm just trying to do clean, and I love the ones where they're waxed and lots of history to them.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
They're all, Joyce is only 45. Thank you, Isabel.
Best friends forever.
She's a
Anyway,
baby. She's a baby.
she's my
So
favorite. She's brought so many of us artists together here
she
in
has.
Orange County. It's been fabulous knowing
I
her.
bet.
So your studio, is it a gallery space too? Do you have people come in and look at the work there, or do you show elsewhere?
I don't show anywhere else. I have shown, but no, I don't belong to a gallery. I work with lots of interior designers,
Okay.
and so they are usually my. I've been working with them for 30 years. So if they see something, or they'll see something even on Instagram, and they'll go, "Oh, Joyce,
Yeah.
that'll work for this client," or "Hey,
Wow.
here's our color board. Can you do something soft for a bedroom?" And you're going like, okay. So,
Sure.
and because my history is working with groups of people around me, telling me add this, add that, take this away, blend this. Can you add this, these draperies? Oh, I don't like those draperies. Take them away. I'm not offended by anybody changing their mind. I always laugh and say I have an eraser or it's just paint. You know, we just
Yeah.
start over. I'm not married to anything.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing that I have in my background is that,
You're flexible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And if you don't
wonderful.
like it, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all because I know everybody is so subjective with art. I just change it.
Yeah. But it'll still be fabulous.
Yeah. So, but what I'm hoping to do is have open studio
Mhm.
and invite
Yeah.
like designers with their clients or friends and family for like during Christmas or for shows to
Hmm.
get ready. And I've done a lot of, I have one designer, I love him to pieces. He has me do, because his clients are a little wealthier and you don't just give them anything, he has me do pencil portraits of their dogs. And he puts them in these beautiful Tiffany frames, but it's just a little dog portrait. And so those will be offered during those things is picking up
Very
commissions.
nice.
And I'm more comfortable with commissions, I think,
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
doing just my own thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
real
a
flip
flip.
from what most people say.
Because that's what I've done my whole
Yeah.
life is people say,
Yeah.
can
Hmm.
you do this for me? And I
Yeah.
go, sure,
Yeah. And it's almost
whether I can or not.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
art with a purpose, and that's very much your design background, right? Making
Yes.
something fit the space.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right.
Yes. I always have these limited parameters or colors,
Yeah.
so that
Which
makes
is
it.
probably good too for your creativity, working with those limitations.
For me, yes, because
Yeah.
otherwise I've got these little people sitting on my shoulder going, I wouldn't put that in the house. I can't put that in. That might go in the bathroom. You know, you just
Yeah.
have all these different, oh, I've got a dark hallway that'll brighten up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
like that.
great.
It's a good
I
attitude.
I do too. It's so different than the way a lot of us think, which is, we don't want other people to dictate to our, we don't want to have to march to anybody else's drum.
I always describe myself as a paper cup in the ocean. Just kind of going every which way.
Well,
Tossed
and
with the
it's
That can be your
tempest.
artist statement.
I love it.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about Chroma. We want to make sure we get some time to that.
Oh,
So Chroma Collective Gallery is how Barb and I met, how I met you and some of your comrades. And if you'd like to spend some time talking about that, that would be great.
um, I love my Chroma group. There's Jeannie Patty, Joan
Yep.
Collins, Liz Dexter, Marcia Cordes, and Lydia Johnston. And we were all part of Alice Sheridan's
Hmm.
Connected Artists Club. And Alice likes to keep things she wanted to keep things small so she could get lots of attention, but it was growing. So she came up with this idea a couple of years ago to create pods. So if you were interested in learning about a certain website or a certain this or a certain that, you could all get together and she would match you up.
Hmm.
And so the six of us landed together, and Liz Dexter was our leader, and we were all new. It was COVID. We were all learning Zoom. We were all kind of trying to figure out how to critique our work. have the elevator speech so that when we did shows we could talk, and we just all the things that artists, our new artists, most there was Lydia and Jeannie had shown, and Joan were more experienced showing in galleries as real artists, where we were, the rest of us were just starting. Marcia too. Marcia was a lot had a lot of experience, but we. At one point, we all said, you know, we can't just keep complaining about Instagram. We have to think of something new. And so we came up with the idea of, because we were so isolated, we thought, gosh, we're not the only ones. And we just wanted to meet more artists and give more artists a voice. And so we just kind of all got together, and it snowballed. And then we created a website, Chroma Collective Gallery.
Great
and
name.
Then we paired it with, well, because we all like color. So, and then we paired it with the Instagram page. And then we decided, I mean, this took us months of, you know, thinking about who we wanted to, what we wanted to do. And originally, I think we were thinking of it quarterly, and then all of a sudden it was once a month, and now we're back to bi-monthly. And the whole idea behind it is to give other artists a platform, a voice. We put you, as you both know, you're in our website, and we tell a story about you. And for us, the best thing is although we've known most of the artists we've met through CVP or Connected Artists or online, we just know what your art looks like. And the few little bitsy comments we get, you know, oh, I love, you know, just the encouragement. But going deeper and learning what you do, who you are, what you came from, why you do what you do, we all of a sudden, we just started going, oh my God, this is a real friend. I really connect with this person. And oh, she's going on a retreat, or oh, she's coming from, you know, everybody has come from different areas. I mean, when I first met Isabel, for example, she was just, you know, CVP graduate. Now she's at the fair. So, or Liz, there's just, everybody's getting studios, and we've just seen people grow. And so, like, Marcia has this incredible background of inks, and we all just went, where do those come from? Because she changes too. So Lydia has always done these beautiful light, because that's what she wants, is the lightness, and she's in Taos. And Joni, anyway, the six of us all met at Liz's sister's house in Bend, Oregon, and it was insanely connecting. We all just kind of clicked together. We were like, well, this is why we're all together. So
meant to be.
I just can't say enough about him. Our exhibition right now is Radiate Light and Soul. And we have a website and a newsletter. So if you want to sign up for all that, I'm like the worst person to plug, because they do all the serious stuff. I just do the graphic stuff. So Joan writes for us. She's a beautiful writer, and not only an artist, but she has a talent to really put everything into words that we
There's
feel.
Marcia. Hi, Marcia. Well, so for those of you who aren't familiar with Chroma, what they do is so they have 6 founding members, and every 2 months they create a new online show, and each of those members invites another artist to come and participate, and everyone shows one piece, and it gets put up on the website, and they promote all of them. They promote their founding artists and their guest artists all during that 2-month period on Instagram. And I think I was invited to post 2 or 3 times and collaborate with Marcia, and those posts went out to new audience. I did get quite a few new followers and new people to interact with through that interaction. So it was quite great for me. Plus, I got to meet all you guys.
I'm so glad you said it, because I'm not able to put into words what you just so simply said.
That's Tamara.
But we're doing it. Actually, what we're doing now is we are promoting we're doing it for 2 months, but we are promoting the first, you know, when we open it up, the first artist, and we take their one piece of art. But now we have it where because it's 2 months, the guest artists are able to post 3 more times different art. So they can, whatever their new art is, or like if they're having a show, like you're having your show coming up, you would post
Right.
your painting, and then you would push the square square foot
Square foot show. I
square
had a
foot
hard
show.
time with that today already
Yeah.
too.
That's why I couldn't think of it. So that's what we're doing is we're having the main thing like with you what you experienced, but now since we're 2 months instead of 1 month, we're having the artists collaborate with all 3 more pieces of art. So anything they
Right.
want, and then to promote themselves. So we're really we're trying to evolve with it all.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys went to 2 months because I was just feeling like from your perspective, 1 month means you're just starting to get going promoting and you're already having to get on with your next month's people.
Oh,
So much to go, so much happening behind the scenes, right?
and then painting too.
Right. Well, you got to do
To
that.
go.
You just got a lovely compliment, and it's just scrolled up. Did you catch that?
No, I can't stare.
I wish I had caught all of it, but you just got a lovely, lovely compliment, and I don't even know who the person was who went
I
by
can
me.
scroll down here.
Oh, you can do it?
Debbie Shearer says, Joyce, you are an incredible artist with a heart of gold. You are one of the most humble and funny people that I have met. Thank you, Debbie. That was a
Oh, that's because that girlfriend and I got in trouble at the last art walk being told we were getting too close pointing to paintings.
You want to
Hi,
touch
Debbie.
them though. That's my fear is I'm going to go into a gallery when we go to New York and I'm going to get thrown out because I want to touch everything.
I don't mind if people touch my paintings. If there's texture there, you want them to touch it, right?
But even if there's
Not when you're in a museum.
I
know.
But
because
a
then there's too
gallery,
many people touching.
like, if nobody's looking, right? Like, can you?
The guard told us that they take pictures of you and they send them to all the museums and galleries so that when you walk in, you're recognized.
Like
your picture
from
shows
the casino.
So we're going to wear our masks wherever we go.
Good idea. Go in a disguise and then just touch everything.
Oh my gosh.
You wear a clown
hilarious.
hat and gloves.
Yeah.
That is so funny. I'm going to open the floor up to questions. Any of our viewers have any questions for Joyce or more lovely comments and compliments they want to pay her, you can go ahead and type them in the comment box.
He said somebody wrote the alarms go off in New York.
No. We're doomed. You're going to have to, I don't know, rein me in down there, Tamara.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Nothing, Julie Pritchard says, nothing is fun until you get escorted out.
I like you, Julie.
Has
that happened to you? There's a story there, I'd say.
I think there's lots of stories here. Jeez. Nobody's claiming responsibility for the Mona Lisa, though, on this podcast, right?
No. That I would not do. That's not the same as like gently stroking a painting.
What happened? I didn't hear anything about that.
Oh, it was a couple months ago. Somebody put on an outfit to make themselves look like they were an elderly person. I think, were they in a wheelchair? I can't remember. And they got access to go up close to the Mona Lisa, and they put some whipping cream or something all over the front of it. Fortunately, the Mona Lisa is under plexiglass, so it didn't do any harm. Right. But the fact that somebody would want to do that.
Like, why? That's
know.
The part I don't understand. Like, what's your point? Why would you try to deface a great work of art?
And there was some political meaning behind it, but it got lost. It got lost in all of it. I
couldn't tell you what it was.
I think it would get more lost in the outrage of why you would pick this beautiful painting. When I first saw her, she wasn't under plexiglass, so I'm so glad she's under plexiglass now.
Yeah,
to be protected.
My son was just there this summer, and he sent a picture. And it was literally like being in a New York subway station. It was wall-to-wall people in the entire room, and people were holding their phones up just to get a picture of it from across the room.
Yeah. I think I can't remember when I was there last, about 10 years ago, and it was just before they were under glass, and I'm standing right next to it, doing the Mona Lisa smile. So but you never. I always walk with my hands behind my back, so that's why I was always saying it wasn't me, it was Debbie that was doing it. Debbie's going to get us kicked out.
You have lots of people that are remembering you from CVP. Bonnie's making a comment too, and in terms of how you found your direction. I love it that there's this continuity now. There's enough history, right? People that you've been around for several years and have seen their work and can see the evolution of yours.
No, I know. The only thing I wish is that all the CVP people that I had from 2019 and 20, I seem to have lost contact with them because, of course, we're all moving and growing all at the same time. But I used to, their stuff used to pop up on my feed all the time, and I saw them more. And I'm struggling with that, trying to figure out how to keep those connections because that 2019, we had just the strongest group of people. I really felt so connected to everybody then.
Very involved. Everybody was extremely involved with the program and quite vocal, right?
Yes, very vocal. It was great.
Yes.
I mean, it was in a helpful way. I mean, everybody would just blurt out, "Oh, I hate that thing."
No. In a good way. In a good way.
Yes. Yeah, I think we all accepted it as a good way.
Yeah,
so,
and it was.
Oh, my son just joined. Hi, Bobby.
Hi. Sounds like you guys need a reunion.
That would be so much fun. It would be, but it's this kind of thing that'll keep us together. So hopefully, anybody from 2019 or 20 that knew me then will reconnect on the Facebook page or in our gallery to see Chroma Collective, because Chroma Collective gallery has its own website too, and that's where you'll be able to see all the different people. And if you go online, if you're interested in any of the art that you see in Chroma Instagram, like you or Barb, you can literally go, and we have all the past exhibits. You can access them. So if you want to learn about anybody, you're more than welcome to go to chromacollectivegallery.com and read about any of our guests or us, so.
We'll put the link, or I should say, you'll put the link in, right, Tamara?
I will put the link in.
Yes.
Absolutely. And that was very well done, Joyce. That was very smooth.
Oh. Thank you.
Something just went by very fast.
Bonnie has said, it's just a comment about Chroma Collective Gallery. Get to know us, follow us on Instagram, and let us get to know you and your art. Marcia said, if anyone wants to be a guest at Chroma Collective
please.
Gallery.
Yes, and the way we have picked our guests in the past is, and still do, is we like to engage. We want to know who you are. We want to know, if you're following us or you're engaging with us. That's who we are more likely to say, oh, okay, she's really on, and she's really not promoting herself so much, but she's engaging. And that's what we want to do, is we want to say, look at this wonderful person, it's just, we want them to say, oh, she was this or that or the other, and now she's doing this, and here's her art, go see her, so and then we do, as you know, we do a special piece of you on our website, and we're, I think this is only our 5th one. We only started in February, so we're still tweaking our everything, and we were doing so much work the first 4 months. After May, when we all had our retreat, we went, you think we could do it every other month? I think we'll benefit just as much. So that's what we did, and it gives the artists coming on now a chance to show more stuff.
Well, it's a deeper dive, right? You're getting a more comprehensive look.
Yeah. Well, and we're clarifying more things. I'm sorry, I read all your instructions, and I still can't figure out how to get people to stop texting me.
No.
Or coming. That's why you see me do this.
Well, I had something just pop up that said your Instagram limit. You've reached your 30 minutes of Instagram limit.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh God, what happens if I press OK? Is this going to blow up?
You got that?
I did.
Touch nothing, right?
Yes.
That's our motto. Touch nothing when we're doing this.
Bonnie does have a question. She's asked twice. I'm going to ask Joyce about it. She wants to hear about the black and white pieces behind you, Joyce, please.
Oh, those are 10 by 10, and they're all rice paper and inks. And so there's about 10 layers behind them. So when you're up close to them, you see the history behind them. And that's what I liked about them. So they're very loose. Rice paper is really hard to work with because it shreds. So I was trying to put it all down and then ink it and then if I made a mistake, I just put more rice paper on top of it.
Yeah, like
And
are you gluing the rice paper?
I'm using gloss medium.
Okay.
So it'd be like gloss medium and then rice paper, then splatter some ink, and then I was using splattering the ink on the rice paper. I was just splattering ink, and then I spilled the ink. So
of course,
I ripped and tore and just kept using the. And I don't know if there's an easier way to put rice paper down. I was just using gloss medium because that was all I had known. So, but they turned out so much fun because they're very loose, and they're on my website, or are they? I'm still putting everything on there.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Well, I changed from one platform to another, so I'm in the process of transferring everything over.
Yeah.
So
that feels good though, because it kind of feels like a fresh start, doesn't it?
Yeah, just like my house. It's all nice and clean and painted.
Freshly painted. Yeah.
Can't wait to get my drill and screws out and hang everything up again.
Sounds great. All right. Well, I don't see any more questions popping up. And are we going to try to keep to our 45 minutes today, Barb? We're going to try.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to try. Joyce, thanks so much for spending some time with us today and getting to know us a little bit better and sharing your art studio. You have a beautiful space there.
So clean. I'm in awe.
It won't last that long, Barb.
Oh, it looks beautiful, and I have to tell you, I'm madly in love with those totems.
Thank you. Thank you.
Color
the totem queen.
Glorious.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we've loved having you on. We are taking a break next week. We'll be back the week after on the 16th. We have a couple more guests that will be joining us. We'll share with that.
Double, right? We have two
we have a double. We have double. There'll be 4 screens. So Barb, you'll be up top.
Oh yes! I'll be like, it's like Hollywood Squares. I get to move up. Instead of way down here.
Thanks to everybody for hopping on, and you're getting all sorts of accolades today, and people are saying wonderful interview, and thank you for being here, Joyce. And thank you guys all for watching, whether you're here live or catching us on the replay.
And thanks for making it comfortable for me. I was so nervous.
Didn't we tell you? We told you, right?
We just chat.
Yep. Yak. Thank you, everybody.
Right. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we'll catch you soon, okay?
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.